AITA for not agreeing to my daughter's conditions for coming back home. My daughter, F14, decided to live full-time with her dad 4 years ago. I wanted to at least have some visitations, but she didn't want to do that, so I respected her choice. A few days ago I contacted her again to see if she has changed her mind, and she said she is willing to spend every other weekend with me with these conditions. 1. She will have her own bedroom and not have to share with anyone. I have 3 kids and we live in a 2-bedroom house, so not possible. 2. She will have all of my attention. I have a toddler and a first grader who both need attention, so not possible. 3. If we go out, her siblings won't join us. And who the hell is gonna look after them? We can't afford a sitter. 4. I will accept the way she dresses. I agreed to this one, even though I can already imagine how she is gonna dress. So overall I told her I can only do the last one. She said she won't be coming then, and I told her if she is gonna act like a brat, then maybe that's for the best. Sorry, but I'm not millionaire like her dad. I can't spoil her like he does, and it's her choice if she wants to choose money over a family who love her. She called me a F-king bitch and hung up the phone. YTA. There's some complicated dynamics at work here. Dad has more money and a bigger house. Plus he doesn't have other kids. Then you have no money, a smaller house, and 2 other kids. I can understand you are struggling and doing your best, but let's look at timing. You divorced 10 years ago. Your daughter was 4. You remarried 8 years ago. Your daughter was 6. You have a first grade. So they are somewhere around 6. That means your daughter was around 8 when they were born. Your daughter left 4 years ago. Your daughter was 10. In the space of 4 years post-divorce, you remarried and had another child. Within 2 years of that, your daughter felt so negatively about her experience living with you that she left. Does that sound like a normal decision for a 10-year-old to make? Some of that could be explained by, Dad has no other kids and has more money, but based on some of her points she is asking you, I'm guessing it's not as easy as that. I am guessing that you never left your younger child alone, that they got all the attention, and your step-husband wasn't interested in being around for your daughter. Otherwise, why would your daughter ask for attention? That's not teenager, I need my own space. That is someone desperately asking their parent to notice them, and you aren't willing to do it. Your daughter needs time for just her. She needs time where she is the priority, where her needs are met. And I am going to guess based on the timeline above that you and your new husband didn't give that to her. Yes, having a baby is difficult and they require a lot of attention. But that doesn't mean your other children have stopped existing. She still has emotional needs, which it sounds like you aren't meeting and aren't willing to consider meeting. I mean, she's asking you for time with just you and her, and you're treating it like, lol, how entitled. I get it, you are doing your best, but your best is hurting your child, and you're not even looking to see it. Info. When you say you contacted her again to see if she changed her mind, do you mean this is the first time in 4 years you've had this conversation, or the first time in 4 years you've had contact? So you're 10. Why? Oh, daughter decides she wants to live full-time with her dad and doesn't even want to visit you, and you say, okay, and then proceed to actually not seeing her for 4 years. For that alone, YTA. I need more info. What caused her to move in with her dad and go no contact? I don't know a lot of children that cut their parents off for 0 reason. This story seems to be missing a few pieces. Emo. This is a case of missing reasons. A 10-year-old doesn't choose to avoid going to visit her mom for no reason. Her conditions point to her feeling like you've never had some quality one-on-one time with her, and that you would ignore her when she's over. It also doesn't feel like you like her very much. Why do you even want her to visit you if you don't have time to spend with her? Are you looking for a babysitter? YTA for the missing reasons and for the clear disdain you have for your kid. YTA. From her requests, it sounds like she wants some one-on-one time with her mom. Also, why do you assume she will choose to dress in some deeply insulting way, and what have you said to her in her past that she feels the need to preemptively curb your judgment? You can be insecure about having less money than her father, but using that as a scapegoat for why you don't have a relationship with her rather than facing the fact that you may have some part in the blame is not okay. Children shouldn't have to chase their parents for a relationship. Don't be surprised when you two are permanently estranged. YTA, you sound like you do not like your daughter. It sounds like a child trying to ask for some more time with her mother, and it sounds like you just want to dismiss. Have you offered a compromise, maybe go out for the day, just the two of you, to start at building something? Your current partner can stay at home with your other kids. It would be good bonding with them. There is, as many people point out, a lot missing, which you are not clear with. What was the timeline from splitting with her father to when you started living with your partner? What was the arrangement on her custody, etc. when you split? What contact have you had in the last 4 years? YTA. 3 kids in 1 room? 4 including her? I don't blame her for wanting to leave. Obviously your teenage daughter doesn't want to share a room with her toddler-age siblings. I highly doubt that he resents the fact she has siblings. She probably resents the fact that you ignored her after your other kids were born, and actually wants to be able to spend some time building a relationship with her mother. Why can't the father of your other kids look after them for a few hours whilst you go out with your daughter? Stop having kids you don't have space for and cannot afford. Info. She's 14 now and her next sibling is at least 6. Which means that she was 8 when that child was born. What kind of attention did you give her afterwards? YTA. She chose to live with her dad because she was pushed to the side when her half-siblings were born. And, unless you've moved to a smaller house since, which would be stupid with 2 kids, was expected to share a room with them. You had more kids than you could afford and you gave all your attention to the youngest. Your daughter moved to be with her dad so that she could feel like a priority. Her conditions for coming back are that you make some changes so that she feels valued in your life. Yet you expect a 14-year-old to sleep on the sofa every time she's at your house? She's made a sensible decision. I think we need more info, but I'm leaning towards YTA. Based on point 1 alone. 3 kids in a 2-bedroom house? She's not wrong for wanting her own space as a 14-year-old, and if her dad can provide that for her, then you should see that as a good thing. Are her siblings half-step siblings? What was your part in this that she resents them so much? I think there's a lot of missing reasons here. You've got 3 children in a 2-bed and wonder why she doesn't want to visit, let alone live. You can't give her any one-on-one time because toddlers. Sounds like she feels and is rather pushed out via a second family. She's shouting, "Mummy, love me and want me and give me attention," and you're saying, "Yeah, no, sorry, the littles need me." By then. YTA. I wouldn't worry about it now though. Your daughter is not likely to be your concern anymore after your behavior. She will go full no contact and live with a loving parent who gives her time and attention. I suspect missing reasons here that make this a YTA call. You're bitching about the fact that your daughter is choosing money over her family. Yet most of her conditions were clearly a cry for attention from her mother. From your comments, these kids who have made it impossible for her to have any one-on-one time with her mother are children you had with your second husband. Why can't he care for the kids while you have some time with your daughter? Why did you have more children than you could afford if it was going to compromise your relationship with your daughter? You speak about her in a rather dismissive, unpleasant way, but I still get the feeling that what has happened here is largely your doing. And if I get that even from your one-sided account, I can only imagine the actual truth of the matter. I've read your comments and post. You're the adult and you handled it like a bratty teenager yourself. Calling your kid a spoiled brat for not wanting to sleep on a couch and be ignored during visits is just despicable. I can't imagine just hating my kid like this. Are some of her requests impossible? Sure, but you as the adult could have listened to what the underlying need was and made an effort for compromise. Instead, you basically told her to f off and then got angry when she did just that. You could have made your husband watch the younger kids in order to make much needed time to reconnect with you. You could have offered to get a divider or something. You also could have stopped having babies you couldn't afford, but I digress on that one since you can't take that back now. Either way, YTA, and honestly a terrible mom. Info. What happened 4 years ago when she was 10? Negotiating with a 14-yo is asinine. Negotiating with a 10-yo isn't possible. What did your ex say 4 years ago to ensure alignment here? Why not offer a day at the mall while her stepdad parents his children? Do small blocks of time. You are coming across as an because you keep making excuses about why you don't see your daughter, and you've called her a spoiled brat. You have a 2-bedroom house. Is there a basement or attic that could be converted to temporary sleeping space for a visit? If it was my kid, I would never let 4 years go by without contact or visits. You really seem to not care about her at all. She's at a perfect age for you to reach out and be a babysitter for you, though, on her visits. Interesting. This sounds like a painful situation for you and your daughter. Instead of every second weekend, could you do one evening a week? Your hubby could take care of the littles and you and your daughter could go for dinner and spend one-on-one time with each other. It sounds like she really needs some undivided attention from you. Show her you are willing to make it work. Otherwise, you won't have much of a relationship going forward. Info. I have 3 kids and we live in a 2-bedroom house, so not possible. By this, do you mean that you have 3 kids total? Or you have 3 kids in addition to your 14-yo? Since you've only mentioned your 14-yo, a toddler and a first grader, it sounds like you have 3 total, but you also don't seem to be correcting anyone commenting on having 4 kids in a 2-bedroom house. I wanted to at least have some visitations, but she didn't want to do that, so I respected her choice. By this, are you actually telling us you haven't seen your daughter for 4 years? Or you have seen her but you hadn't had her stay in your home? When she made her demands, did she actually know you live in a 2-bedroom property? Or could she possibly have thought that it was a 3+ bedroom property? If we go out, her siblings won't join us. And who the hell is gonna look after them? We can't afford a sitter. So, you mean you and your partner can't afford a sitter? Well, an option on that demand is that your partner looks after your younger kids whilst you take your daughter out one-on-one. So overall, I told her I can only do the last one. Is that all you said? Did you actually explain that you live in a 2-bedroom property and that is why you couldn't agree to her first condition? Did you consider telling her that during the daytime her half-siblings would need some of your attention, but after the first grader's bedtime there would be some mother-daughter time for the 2 of you? Did you consider suggesting that you will take her out, just the 2 of you, on occasions, but explaining sometimes it would have to be a joint trip out with her siblings if their other parent wasn't available and no friends, relatives could babysit? Because if you only said that you couldn't agree to demands 1, 2 and 3, without offering reasonable explanation or compromise, Of course she's going to say she won't be coming. But as for how the conversation ended, considering you insulted her and told her it's maybe for the best she won't be coming over, it's no wonder she called you a bitch. Edited typo. I'd missed the word mentioned from my first question. Info needed. Are you married now?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.